We're broadcasting live from Humansdorp, and it is both good and bad news for this area. When we're here at beginning of May, a couple of months ago, we're actually at a farm where the animals, the four-legged animals, the cows, were infected by the foot and mouth disease. And when I arrived here this morning, we got good news that the cows on this specific farm where we are right now have been completely vaccinated and definitely are on their way to recovery. But also on the downside, we have heard that the foot and mouth disease is actually spreading here in Humansdorp. Currently 5 farms have been affected and also some in East London. So the Department of Agriculture is doing what they can to ensure that they stop and prevent the spread of this disease. But joining this morning is a veterinarian who's the HOD of the vets at the Department of Agriculture, Dr. Mngeta, to inform us briefly about the foot and mouth disease, how it spreads, and what they're trying to do now to prevent the spread of this disease. Dr. Mngeta, let's just first talk about the foot and mouth disease, just currently where it is in the Eastern Cape, and also how important it is for the department to stop four-legged animals from running astray in this area.
Thank you. We currently have 8 farms that are affected in the East London, in the Eastern Cape. 7 of them are at the Humansdorp area, where the index farm, or where the first infection was identified on the 27th of April, and 1 farm currently in the East London area. In following the outbreak of the FMT in this particular farm, we put the farm under quarantine. That is, we're refusing the movement of animals into this farm, being one of the methods of controlling the spread of the disease. You'll remember that FMT, foot and mouth disease, is known as one of the contagious diseases. So one of the ways in which we want to deal with the spread is to confine the animal in the area where it's already happening. Now, following quarantining the farm, as part of the intervention for FMT, the government embarked on a vaccination scheme. We can say that in this area of Eastern Cape, where there's been an outbreak of disease, 7,000 animals have already been vaccinated, and we can see the change and the improvement on the animals. In some of the farms that we have already vaccinated, animals are happy, so to speak. They don't refuse to eat. They don't refuse to eat. The milk production has improved a bit, and they are showing no clinical signs of the disease. We are happy to say that the vaccine has brought in an effect, and for us it's a plus because it means now there's little virus shedding. If there's little virus shedding, then it means chances of moving the disease to the other farm are limited. But we're still requesting the farmers to limit movement of animals, please, because this disease spread by movement. It's moved either by animals or by the human beings themselves from one place to another. So please.
When you arrived here this morning, you said that the cows behind us are showing good signs of recovery because they've been vaccinated. As a farmer who has cows on their farm, what are some of the early signs that you can tell that a cow has been infected, has got the foot and mouth disease? And then also, what about the cows behind us as a sign that they are on their way to full recovery?
When you get into a farm, or when you see the herd of infected cattle, it invites you, it attracts your attention. Even if you are not a vet, or you are a farm, or you're somebody who knows something about animals, you will see them. The saliva is drooling. The reason being that they have got blisters in the mouth, in the buccal cavity, under the tongue, and as they pop up, they leave an ulcer, erosion. So it causes a lot of pain. They will not be able to eat anything.
Also, this area is also quite a huge milk production area. Has there also been concern that the foot and mouth disease has already affected milk production in the area, or could possibly affect it in the long term?
Okay. The milk production still continues in these animals. The positive ones and the negative ones. That is the positive farms and the negative farms. And the milk yield, what you will pick up is that in some of the cows, the milk production or the milk yield, it will go down, but they will still produce. One of the advantages of the vaccine is that because they don't have active clinical signs, so they'll be able to pick up or to keep their milk production constant. The milk still goes to the dairy. The only thing that happens is that the milk doesn't get exported. It's still usable or consumable by human being. And if you look, the processes that the milk go through at the dairy, the pasteurization, double pasteurization, the milk which we call it long life milk, it's heated and it kills the virus. And if you do double pasteurization, it will kill the virus. So the product that we are having from the dairies is consumable. It will not affect human beings, and human beings are not affected by the foot and mouth disease.